So I want to welcome you guys to the Let's Go to a Trade Show webinar here. I am Dave with Transfer Express. I have Mike behind the scenes in the chat section over on the right-hand side. If you have questions for anything through this webinar, drop them down in there. If you're going to be watching the replay, let us know down in the comments and we will answer your questions. These webinars are built to help you and your business succeed. And that's what we're all about. Everybody here at Transfer Express Installs wants to see your apparel decorating business just boom here in 2023. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. We saw so much growth in 2022 that 2023, I hope to be no different. Recession or not, we're going to crush it here. And the first step to crushing it is some knowledge of how to run your business. And trade shows are an absolutely great way to easily gain a lot of that insight. Now, this slide right here, our intro slide, that's me right there, right up there in the maroon shirt at Long Beach last year. Long Beach this year is coming up in just a little bit in 1 week. But that's me last year in Long Beach, California, presenting our Easy View online designer to a good little crowd here. But I absolutely love trade shows. It's a great way to get education like this here that we're doing online in person, get hands-on with the products and a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm going to jump right into the agenda here because we got to get started. We got a lot to cover, ton of different shows, and you'll see here our jam-packed agenda includes shows and where these shows are located. Some of them may be in your neck of the woods, but I would say the vast majority of people who I talk to at trade shows, being on the trade show circuit now for this will be my third year on the trade show circuit, that a lot of people do travel to these shows. Long Beach is great because it's the middle of winter here in Ohio and the majority of the country. So it's nice to skip away to a little bit of warmer weather with our coworkers, with our friends in the industry, and be able to escape some of the winter of what Mother Nature has in store for us. But we're going to talk about show sponsors, a little bit of differences between each one of the shows. There's a few large organizations putting on trade shows in our industry. And I'm just going to break down the differences between them and maybe which one's right for you. If you've never went to a trade show before and you're looking for the right one in your area, some of them have a ton of shows. Some of them have a limited number of shows. So depending on what you need. So we're going to cover some of that here in the webinar. I also want to help you get the most out of your experience. There's usually some form of investment. A lot of times you could get registration to at least an expo floor for free, but a lot of the added education comes on at an added cost. So you want to make sure that you're maximizing your dollar and you look at attending these trade shows as almost an investment into your business, that you're going to learn, you're going to network, you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff, out of actually showing up to a trade show so that it makes traveling to it, the investment into the flights, the hotel, any event fees, or taking clients out to lunch or anything like that, completely worth it. And you're going to get your money back on it, either in time saved around your shop or frustration where you're not ruining supplies or materials or anything like that, just to see how the pros do it and see how the manufacturer recommends doing it. Now, we're also going to talk about the in-person education opportunities, kind of like what I was talking about. There's so much from the actual seminars to on the expo floor at each booth. Usually there's some sort of education going on as well. And of course, show specials. We all want to save money and that's the way to do it. But I was actually just talking this past weekend with a industry expert, Marshall Atkinson, and we were talking about the top 3 reasons, because I was preparing for here. We were talking about the top 3 reasons that people attend trade shows. And the first one is to learn. There's so much hands-on opportunity, both on the floor, at your favorite vendors, if it's new products coming out, or hey, what does Sanmar have in store for 2023? You could actually go touch and feel these apparel items. You could see the transfers apply. You could apply them yourself. You could, if you're looking at upgrading your heat press, you get to play with all of the different heat presses, touch them, and get the features that maybe you're looking for, or see features that you didn't know were listed online, or those little tips and tricks that you see others doing on the trade show floor. So it's super valuable to learn. Now, there's also all of those new products that I mentioned, as well as the on-site education. So you're going to be, expanding your knowledge base by immersing yourself in a show here. Now, the second aspect is to network. You're going to get together in a huge room with thousands of people who are like-minded like you. They are also apparel decorators, and some of them may be your heroes. I know when I was first coming up, I was learning stuff from Ryan Moore back in the day on how to screen print, and being able to talk to those people themselves, and I mean, just kind of pick their brain about certain things that maybe you don't see in a YouTube video that they're able to share with you on the trade show floor in an education session or a little one-on-one. There's just tons of stuff that's going on at the shows that will build your network. And that could help too, especially if you are maybe a growing business and you're starting to reach your capacity. Some of these connections that you make at the show, you could rely on for other vendors. Say one of your customers says, hey, I need to do some tumblers or mugs, but you don't have the capabilities to do that. Somebody that you meet at the show may have that. And then they're able to push work your way, and you're forming this network across country, building friendships and kind of raising the entire apparel decorating industry up. So it's very, very cool to see people getting together. And now after the pandemic, I know just last year, the shows really kind of came back into swing. So it was great to get back out there and get face to face and actually start talking with people again. It was just fantastic. Now, the last aspect of our top 3 reasons to attend a trade show is, of course, to buy. And you're going to save money. There's steep discounts on products, equipment, and so much more. And some of these shows, I'll get into in just a little bit, give money away for free that you could spend with vendors on the expo floor. So really, really cool stuff. So definitely that's those show specials that we want to talk about. Now we're going to jump right into the Transfer Express show schedule. So right at the top, you see ASI Orlando, January 4th through 6th. Already passed. We've already been out on the circuit down there in Orlando. Now, of course, happening currently, right now, wrapping up today is PPAI Las Vegas. So that's a big show in Las Vegas. Next week, the one that I'm excited to head out there for, it's just a couple more days, and we'll be on our way to California. That is the Impressions Expo Long Beach. I absolutely love the Impressions Expo because it is 100% dedicated to decorated apparel and all of the different vendors, all of the different print methods that go into putting ink or anything to decorate apparel. And it's fantastic. There's 3 of them every year. We're going to jump into those. ASI Fort Worth, January 23rd through 25th. So you can see January is loaded. We are in trade show season now. The Decorated Apparel Expo, Kansas City in February. We're going to be down in Louisiana for the Everything Embroidery Market in March. GPX Irving, which is the Graphics Pro Expo, kicking that off. There's Irving. There's Impressions in Atlantic City. So we're going coast to coast with the Impressions Expo. Pinners Conference in Atlanta. I went just as an attendee to the one in Fort Worth last year, and I had an absolute blast. There was a stand selling just churros, and it was like a churro kit that you could buy, but man, I walked around the show eating churros, and it was fantastic. Decorated Apparel Expo in Minnesota, then in Chicago, so that's just south of Chicago in Tinley Park. Graphics Pro Expo in Charlotte, Indianapolis, Portland, Long Beach, and then Baltimore. And then we'll return back to the Impression Circuit down in Texas in Fort Worth. And then, of course, the big one to round out the end of the year is Printing United. Now, Printing United is a just gigantic show. It's any way you could put ink on any substrate, and you'll see it there. It's just absolutely huge. I went to the one in Las Vegas this past year. Everything from offset presses to screen printing presses, direct-to-film printers, direct-to-garment presses. Kornit had a huge display showing how that their new technology could print on polyester. So if you want to see the latest and greatest and see just a humongous show, that's Printing United. Now, one thing that I think Printing United is a little light on compared to some of these other shows is those education tracks built to help you learn from those industry experts and thought leaders that have been doing it for a long time. Now, one thing whenever I'm in a class, a seminar, a workshop, I have the liberty of deferring back to a lot of my experience. And that's really what you get with these educational seminars and the workshops, is that you're learning from somebody who has experienced it. And what I've learned in my decade in the industry here is that you have to learn almost by experience. So eliminating all of that time, all of that frustration, and just getting it out of the way and learning from a pro who's learned the hard way from those mistakes over 30 years or so, you get to pick up on that and run right with that knowledge base almost immediately. So it's super, super valuable. And the people out there teaching these classes are like, I mean, me, Marshall Atkinson, Josh Ellsworth, our very own Dane Clement, Jenna Sackett. I know Charlie Taubli, but with the screen printing stuff, there's just a ton of super talented people who know what they're doing, who have built shops and know how to profit with decorated apparel. And you could pick up so much from these guys just talking to them, just learning. I see Jackie going in there and saying, I agree. John McKinnon saying, yeah, interested in printing United, heard good things. Yeah, it was a humongous show. It's almost, I mean, you really have to reserve all 3 days to go to that show. And because I mean, you just don't have time to visit every booth. I think there was over 700 vendors, over 2 expo halls in Las Vegas. And the Las Vegas Convention Center, at least to my knowledge, is the largest convention center I have ever been in. So it was just the square footage of that place, the vendors there. And I'm kind of a nerd for anything printing. So even the offset presses, all of the digital presses, HP had their brand new like Indigo press, the digital offset presses. I don't even know what they call them, but they're absolutely incredible machines. And it's cool. It's just cool to see those things firsthand, even if it doesn't make an impact on your business. Really cool to see. And Vegas is a nice backdrop, I think, for anybody to take a little vacation to. But this year it's going to be in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. So let's jump in and start talking about the different types of shows. John, we're Offset Digital Apparel company, so it covers all bases. Yes, Printing United is definitely one of the best to do it too. And then you also have those UV printers, the flatbed printers that I've never actually seen in real life. In my experience, I've seen offset presses and the digital presses, even like the old clamshell style, we used for foil stamping, stuff like that. All of the machinery I've seen, but those huge flatbed UV presses that could print on literally anything. You could throw like a guitar case in there and it could print on it. You could throw tumblers in there, prints on it, full color. That stuff is just absolutely incredible to see in person live with the thing. So really, really cool. So let's jump right in to ASI. Now the ASI shows do require a membership, but it is the Advertising Specialty Institute. Now, there are 3 locations that are regional throughout the entire year. Orlando, like I talked about at the top of the show here, has already come and gone, but Fort Worth's going to be coming up at the end of January, and then Chicago a little bit later on in the year, back in July. So if you missed the first one in Orlando, there's still opportunities for Fort Worth and Chicago. Now, Advertising Specialty Institute is very promotional products based. So Jay, in there talking about the way that you put ink on any substrate, this is where this might be a good show for you to go to as well. It's the apparel, it's drinkware, pens, stress balls, keychains, tote bags, the cinch sacks, the water bottles, pretty much any of those promo items, the pens, the flashlights, the little can coolers, anything like that you're going to see at this show. And a great way to link up and network with a lot of those vendors. Now, that's part of the beauty of ASI, though, is that you do have to be a member or a guest of a member to attend the show itself. They do sponsor the Wearables digital magazine, used to be in print, but it talks about a lot of those promo items and how businesses are using them, how you could sell them as well. And of course, online, they have their ESP tool, which is a search and sales tool, a link network of vendors that you're able to see all set up so that you could connect with them before and after the show. So it's all web-based on there, at least what the ESP portal there. But that's the distributors, your vendors, your partners, everybody like that who's going to be in there that you could search up. So that does require a membership. Some shops already do have the membership to ASI. So that makes this show like a very free show to attend. And just a great resource to link up with some of these companies that you usually just see listed as a resource, or maybe you see some pictures of products online. You actually get to touch and feel the quality for yourself. And a lot of these cases at the ASI shows, there is swag all around. So you're going to get tons of freebies. You're going to be able to take that product home, throw it in the dishwasher, and make sure it's something that you want to offer your customers. Now, one thing I love about the ASI shows is the picture right here, that they do have pretty well-known keynote speakers for a lot of their actual talks. So Alex Rodriguez is coming down to Orlando this year, just in a couple weeks. And so he'll be speaking there for that. So ASI shows are typically very large with tons of vendors, maybe not the Printing United large scale, but the education usually starts the day before in an entrepreneur, social media and marketing, product decoration, and business fundamentals track. So regardless of what you're looking to learn, it may not even be specific product knowledge. You're looking how to market your business. You're looking how to attract new customers. There's going to be education there that you could learn from and help better your business. So really, really cool to have in there. And of course, ASI throws the promo party at every event. And it is just an awesome time. You get to rub elbows with some of the industry's best, as well as your peers in the industry. So really, really cool to go. If you guys have ever attended an ASI show, let me know over in those comments, because I would love to hear your experience. And if there's anything I missed here, please share with the group. This is a collaborative, little interactive webinar, and I love to hear from the attendee side too, because I'm always at these as an exhibitor or as a speaker. So I'm not necessarily getting the full trade show experience, getting to walk around. I see it and I talk to other vendors, and I do get to walk around. I have to nerd out a little bit about this cool stuff, but I don't get to fully experience it. And especially a lot of the workshops and classes I don't get to sit in on. Luckily at Printing United, I was able to catch a few, but get it there. So ASI is the Advertising Specialty Institute. Yeah. Nicole says, went to the ASI in Orlando for the guest fee of $10. What was that? Just last week or earlier this week? Whenever it was, being able to get it in. So very similar to ASI is the PPAI show. Now that is promo stuff, very similar. So Promotional Products Association International. Now this one is January 9th and 12th through Las Vegas. That's the one going on right now in Las Vegas. So if you're there or looking to attend, odds are you're probably not watching this webinar, but it is always just one national show this year in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And PPAI hosts Sage, which is very similar, supplier listing, the vendor networks, all that stuff there. Tina says, went to an ASI show many years ago as a first convention, a little overwhelming and felt there was a lot she was not interested in for. And that is it. There is a lot. And some of the stuff is great connections that'll work for your business, but it can be overwhelming. And so I'm glad that you guys are in this webinar, because trade shows are definitely sensory overload. There is flashing lights and all these banners and everybody's trying to get your attention. But we've got some strategies a little later on in this webinar to cut through all of that noise and allow you to have an experience and that return on investment for just showing up. I mean, we're all busy people. We got work to do here in the office or work in your shop. So you're going to kind of put that aside for a couple days to try to learn. And I want to make sure you're maximizing your time and making it worthwhile to attend one of these shows. They're not just huge parties or anything, but there are some parties where you get to talk to people. So it's a great opportunity for networking. Yeah, Michelle always checks out vendors, plan the strategy before we get. Michelle, you're getting ahead of the slides. But Michelle knows, obviously she's been, yeah, Charlotte went to Printing United. It was super overwhelming. It was, I mean, there was just tons and tons of floor space. There was education on the floor. There were keynote speakers in the theater in between the two like expo halls. They did have it fairly well separated. So it was a lot of like full color offset printing in one category, and then a lot of the large format and even like the digital die cutters, laser cutters, and apparel in the other expo floor. So it can get overwhelming. Yes. Let's see. It's a great show to see the big suppliers, Alpha Broder, Samar, Next Level, and more. Stalls always has a busy booth. We have a busy booth at a lot of our shows. It's just great to be able to get hands-on with apparel decorating, and especially with any of the materials, Ultracolor Max, the goof-proof screen printed transfers, Elastiprints. You get to see the difference firsthand, touch and feel, and get to talk about it so that you truly understand it before you walk away. It's not like reading a web page where you're like, I think I know. All of the staff at the booths are there to help you out and help you understand anything you need. And sometimes even offer advice on to how to price apparel or what markets to go after, depending on what region you're in or what your business looks like. So it's really, really great. Carol went to Tinley Park a few times. Last time took the husband, disappointed by the number of suppliers. So that probably was the Decorated Apparel Expo, which is the DAX show, which we'll cover in just a little bit. But those are typically smaller shows, really built for entry-level businesses or mid-sized businesses just looking to get a little bit more knowledge and kind of that connection with those vendors and the sales reps. Now, PPAI is great. They do have an award ceremony with the show as well, and that is paired with a full load of education for the attendees. Now, you do have to be a member to attend the PPAI show. So it's a little expensive for non-members, but for members, if you get in early, which is one of our tips that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, register early. If you think you're going to go to the show, register as soon as they open registration, because for a lot of these, it is completely free if you get in before a certain time. I know like the Impressions Expo coming up in just a week, it was free 6 months ago. 3 months ago, it jumps up to $40 to attend, and now I think it's like 65 or something. I'm not too sure exactly what the attendee price does. Like it just there's several price points where it continuously doubles and doubles until you're paying a lot of money to attend last minute, where you could have just signed up for free. And if you don't end up booking a flight or the flights get canceled or something comes up, you're able to reschedule it, and it's no financial investment lost. You could get in for free. So great stuff there. Now, PPAI, you do have to be a member, and that does vary based on the size of your business. So if you have a larger business, maybe a little bit more expensive, but you're going to see that being kind of connected to that supplier network could also funnel quite a bit of business your way. Yeah, some let you set reminders for when registration opens. That is an awesome tip, Michelle. Fantastic tip. And yeah, just stay in tune. So like if you know you can't make Long Beach this year, but you're looking for it next year, go on the Impressions website, get on that mailing list, and they'll let you know as soon as that registration opens. Now, it's not just Expo floor. Some of these have additional costs for education, and you could get those at a stunning discount by signing up early. You'll get the free show floor, and maybe you could sign up for the full conference education for like $100 versus the $350, $400 it turns into the day before show opens. So don't delay. Try to plan early. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We got tips coming up. Here. If you guys want to let those tips come in, let them come in, and I'll let you know if you are you're throwing me off my game here on the webinar. But I absolutely love it. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. So the Impressions Expo, I talked about it a little bit earlier. One of my favorite shows. I went to every single one last year, and I'm very excited to head back out next week to Long Beach to kick off the Impressions show season. So Long Beach, California, January 20th through the 22nd. Atlantic City is in March the 23rd through 25th. So kind of jumping coast to coast. We go West Coast to the East Coast, and then we jump central in the fall. Well, maybe still, I think it's still technically summer, but September 14th and 16th this year, we're headed down to Fort Worth, Texas. So real easy to get in and out of every single one of those places. If you're flying into LAX, I think for Atlantic City, people fly into New York City or Philadelphia, a short little drive from there. And of course, Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth is an incredibly easy flight from almost anywhere in the country and incredibly affordable, being a humongous airport hub too. So you'll see a lot of these shows do end up in these major markets that, number one, have a large, kind of customer base or attendee base there locally, but also easy to get in and out of, easy to get those hotels and any accommodation set, and tons of other stuff too. Nightlife. We talk about PPAI in Las Vegas. Tons of nightlife and other things to do in Las Vegas. Now, Impressions, of course, is the publisher of Impressions Magazine, one of the only, I think, Graphics Pro and Impressions Magazine are like the two dedicated to apparel decorating actual in-print magazines that are still out there. So great resources. If you're not already subscribed to those, get subscribed. It's great when they show up. You get to see what other decorators are doing and learn those little tips and tricks that the pros are using, and maybe some sales strategies too that can help you grow your customer base. Most booth catalogs will be sent to you online by scanning your neck badge, and that is definitely something too. That don't be afraid of getting your tag scanned, because it's just going to help you connect with those suppliers that you stopped at their booth. Helps you remember. You could scan their badge too. Take a picture of it. Remember who you talked to, and there's a lot of exchanges of business cards. Maybe not as much now that everybody has QR codes, but you want to make sure that you're remembering who you're talking to, and you want to remember who what services were at what booth. So it could get crazy when you're talking to 100 different people over the span of 3 days. Like, what booth was that at? That one product that we saw, or that, that one t-shirt, was that Threadfast, or was that at Sanmar, or was it Bella Canvas? So take tons of pictures. Usually sometimes they say like no photos or videos, but if you ask the booth like, hey, could I take a photo of this shirt? They're like, go for it. I know all the time that we get asked that question at this booth right here. This was our Atlantic City booth from last year for the Impressions Expo. And people ask all the time, they see the sample like, man, this exact style of jersey, this is what my customer was asking me last year. Could I take a picture of it? Absolutely, you could take a picture of it. So like all of the other shows, you could sign up for free with that early bird registration. It is too late now for Long Beach Impressions next week, but it's going to range between $25 and $45 depending on when you sign up. I think right now, just to get into the expo floor, it's $45. But don't go rush to Impressions right now. Don't go there and sign up if you want to attend. I've got something for you that it isn't quite wink too late to get in for free, at least the expo floor. Now, the conference packages include tons of education. I love the Impressions Expo because not only the day before the show opens, so this year, the Impressions Expo is the 20th through 22nd, say in Long Beach. The 19th is when education starts. So if you're coming in the day early, I know I have a workshop at 9 a.m. starting on the 19th, and then we are doing our Pro Day, which I want to talk about the Stalls Pro Day a little bit, just coming up in a few slides, because it's just incredibly valuable. We did our inaugural one down in Fort Worth last fall, and it was just super well received. And hearing how many decorators actually learned so much from it and felt energized and recharged to go back to their businesses and sell more apparel or print more efficiently or bring on new products that they never thought they would be bringing into their business, that's now making a difference and making extra profit for them. So really, really cool stuff. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but that is January 19th coming up as part of the Impressions Expo. Now, yes, the conference package could get a little expensive. You could buy the full pass, which allows you into all of the workshops, all of the seminars. However, it also could be expensive if you want to buy those a la carte. So it's usually $60 to $100 just for one session. Or if you're going to attend two, you might as well upgrade and spend the entire day in education sessions that day before the event and all 3 days of the show. There's education every single day. There's, I think, at least in Fort Worth or Long Beach, there was like 5 or 6 classrooms. So there's always something going on that's going to make sense for your business. You could go and learn how to screen print if you're looking to add that to your business or looking to upgrade. There's tons of stuff. I know there's tons of talks on direct to film. We have a few on direct to film, and even some others are talking about direct to film as well, just because of how much it's changing the landscape of the apparel decorating industry. If you want to learn about direct to garment, there's tips for setting up artwork for direct to garment, or processing it in a RIP software, or printing it, or best practices, the best blanks to use, stuff like that. All of that's in there. Now, the best thing, as I talk about this education, we go to this Impress U. So they call it the Impress U University. But that is all of the workshops and seminars. So the digital, embroidery, business, screen printing, and heat applied. So the business stuff is like, yeah, those marketing tips, maybe the accounting, the bookkeeping. I have one of the classes for next week that's going to be turning your hobby into a business. So all of the stuff that you need to think about, the business plan, the goals you're going to set for yourself, as well as getting a tax ID, getting registered as a business, getting that reseller's license so you could get wholesale apparel at a much lower cost so that you could be profiting more. How to, look into your expenses, your operating costs, and factoring those into your price. Because if you go from a hobby, you're not necessarily looking to make profit. But if you're turning your hobby into a business, you want to make sure that you're maximizing your profit, you're tracking your profits, and you're setting the right amount aside for Uncle Sam, because that is especially brand new business owners. You start the LLC and then come tax time and you are lost, wishing you were tracking stuff the entire time. So that's just kind of stuff that I'm talking about. That not anything about actually printing apparel, but just business tips to help your business grow. I've seen so many people go through that transition from hobby to a legitimate business that I really want to share those stories that I've heard from customers with the attendees there. So I'm really excited for that. And they actually give you a little certificate certificate. There's a whole online portal and an app that tracks all of the classes you could go to. You could sign up there. You could drop out of classes, view everything of what's going on, and be able to go through all of that. So it's really great if you go to 10 classes, and that's the full conference webinar or the full conference seminar education package. There is also shop talks, so on-floor education as well, that you'll hear from some of the industry's best. I know there's usually some like big wigs too from like the actual apparel suppliers talking about the trends that they're seeing, how they're being more sustainable, just really inspiring you to go back and be able to pass along that info to your customers. So really, really cool. And this is the trade show team from Fort Worth. If you were down in Fort Worth, if Kathy Taylor's in this webinar, I know Kathy comes to a whole bunch of them, but Kathy was able to hang out with us down in Fort Worth. I don't know if she would be at this one because she is a trade show pro. She's the trade show pro. She doesn't necessarily need the ins and outs. Doug, guided my business through promo industry and now through decorated apparel. Yes, absolutely. So in that those education sessions that we have coming up, classrooms look very similar to this. There's usually tables, a whole bunch of chairs. And there is small to medium group. I would say anywhere between 40 to 100 people per session. So you do get to ask questions. There's always good Q&A. And we've got a stacked schedule coming up here for our impressions between stalls, Great Dane Graphics, and Transfer Express. We got the artwork for DTF with Dane Clement. Heat Press Shop Makeover with Josh Ellsworth, talking about how any shop could integrate heat presses into their workflow. Talking about the top 10 apparel decorating trends with Jenna. She is just so connected and so in tune to what is trending, what styles are coming out. And that's one thing that when you kind of get to connect with those brands, if it's Threadfast or S&S, Sanmar, Alpha Broder, and they are able to identify these styles coming up. You know, if Bella Canvas goes to make a new blank, there's so much research that goes into it that you kind of can't ignore it, that they spent so much time and so much money researching the style, the demand for the style, making the new templates to cut them out, maybe dyeing new fabric colors. That's always nice to keep an ear to the ground there to see what they're doing, because usually they're doing things just slightly before your customers are going to start asking. So to be knowledgeable about that by attending one of these shows, you seem like a pro and you're like, oh yeah, that new Malibu hoodie from Next Level. Yeah, look, I got a sample right here. You want to feel it? And you could close those sales and sell more apparel. So it's great to be able to get some of that knowledge here. I have the year-round printing calendar, which is a 3-hour-long workshop where we're going to print some shirts, but we're also going to be looking at the promotional calendar that you need to be promoting. If, say, somebody's looking for Valentine's Day apparel, it might already be too soon. You can't be advertising it now because you need time to produce it and ship it so your customer has it in time for the event. Or if they're selling it, say if they're a local business with a Valentine's Day event or a bar crawl or something like that, they need to be able to pre-sell all of that apparel before the event. So it kind of gets your mind thinking very forward in very maybe 3-4 weeks ahead, maybe even more than that, so that you could be prepared for the Little League season when it's hitting in spring. You know that you could be advertising those services maybe in February. So all that stuff. I don't want to get too in depth because we're going to turn this hour-long webinar into a 3-hour-long workshop talking about all that stuff. Easy tips for small business branding. So just branding tips that I've seen both clothing brands do, apparel decorators, and everybody in between. Turning your hobby into a business is another one that I have that I was talking about. Taking those steps to really achieve that next level and make sure you're doing it right so Uncle Sam don't come knocking. And of course, successful print placement. It's been an incredibly popular webinar that we did here online first. I did it down in Fort Worth, Texas, in that same vein. And just a really great thing. One thing I'm really excited about that too is that I get the question all the time about, hey, should I change the sizing per what size shirt that I'm printing on? So I went through, got everything from extra small all the way up to like 2 or 3X. And I printed the same design on all of them with some different measurement points so you could see how they look. And you're going to have to come to the class to see the result of that. All right. But see, that's the stuff that you get to see. I put so much time and energy into just making this education to help apparel decorators just like you out, just like this webinar right here, except it's live in person. We could chat afterwards. Even like the Pro Day that we're doing, we're going to have a little happy hour afterwards too. One good thing about impressions is that even though I'm affiliated with Transfer Express, none of the classes that I'm teaching are necessarily directly about Transfer Express products or services. Impressions makes a point to hire speakers to keep the self-promotion out of classes. And they'll actually boot speakers that do just hammer home sales messaging and make it an hour-long infomercial. That is not what these impressions classes are. They are solution-based, solely to help your business make the best decisions of what works for you. So really, really awesome to be able to do. Oscar, there's still time to sign up to the classes. So you're not going to miss out too much unless it's prohibitively expensive now for you. But you know, sometimes if you see something that you absolutely need, paying that $300 for the entire conference package might make sense for your business. If you could pick up those tips, that's going to save time. Because that's one thing too, that like apparel decorators, at least those that I talk to, as we talk about this, like turning your hobby into a business, is accounting for time. Where, you know, maybe $300 is just a day of labor costs for you or something if you have an employee or 2 employees or something like that. But if you could have them work more efficiently with some things that you learned at the show, that's going to pay off in the long run. So you're not paying $300 a day. Maybe you're paying $250 a day. Over time, you're going to make that money back. And it's actually going to be profitable for your business for you to learn these techniques from the industry pros. So really, really great. There are classes, Elena Marie, there are classes at every single one of the Impressions Expos. You could go online to any of these sites like Impressions Expo. If you just Google search Impressions Expo, it's going to be the first thing to pop up. And you could search through the tabs on the top of every single one of the shows. They have different, they're not the same classes every single time, but I know, I think the Atlantic City schedule is being finalized now if it's not already finalized. And we have a lot of these same classes that we'll be teaching in Long Beach, that will be teaching the same exact classes and having the same talks with different decorators on the East Coast when we head to Atlantic City. And then once Atlantic City's done, then we transition down to Fort Worth. So I hope to bring a lot of this knowledge and a lot of this inspiration, a lot of this education to the same vein. So I think I saw John in there say that he was signed up for ProDay, and this is what's going on. This is a picture from ProDay. That's me, Jennifer Johnson, Jenna Sackett, and Josh Ellsworth, all from stalls there in Fort Worth, where we had our first ProDay. If you want to see a little glimpse of what ProDay is all about, here's some customer testimonials. Head on over to our YouTube page, which if you're not already subscribed there, subscribe. It's free. On-demand education that I, am really proud of the entire team that puts this stuff together. Everybody's just so dedicated to helping you guys out. So head over there, give it a subscribe, and we're going to be releasing a video tomorrow on hoodies. So the top styles that I love decorating on, the top styles that I've heard others wanting to decorate on, or the industry standards like that independent SS 4500, but all different types of hoodies. I think we review 6 different blank hoodies, the price points, the features on them, so that you could watch the video, maybe take a few notes. So when your next customer asks for hoodies, you could say, hey, listen, I know exactly what hoodie you're looking for. You're looking for that relaxed fit. You're looking for something that's affordable in your budget range. Even how you could kind of like position these as 3 different kind of the basics, the fashion forward, and even the premium based on what their budget level is. So there's just, that's on our YouTube. It's releasing tomorrow. So you got to be subscribed to be able to be notified as soon as that one drops. We just released the other day a great interview from Printing United. So it was from the Printing United Expo floor. I talked with Russ Corey from Sanmar about how direct-to-film has transformed the industry. So it's not just content from us here at Stalls or Transfer Express, and it's content from these thought leaders and industry experts who have been in it. Now, Russ, full disclosure, was a Stalls employee long before I was a Stalls employee, but that just shows you how ingrained they are in the industry, how much they care for apparel decorators, and that, it's just a different company. He works for a wholesale supplier, but is able to help those businesses out. And we shared a lot of good insight here. So ProDay, happening in Long Beach next week on the 19th, which is next Thursday. So it's the day right before the show goes back up. And then we have a half-day workshop. So it starts, I believe, at 1 noon or 1 o'clock, and it goes till 4 with a happy hour following it. Chris asked, could you put the list of shows on the screen again? We do have a whole page of where we're going, and Mike could probably link that page with all of the events listed. I think it's just transferexpress.com/events. But look at that. Look, events schedule. Mike already got it right there in the chat. But Impressions is a half-day workshop, so it's 3.5, 4 hours long, includes a happy hour, but it does include a whole swag bag of stuff that you're going to print on site. Dimensional emblems and packages, or dimensional emblems and patches, not packages, but you get an entire package. We're going to be talking about a backpack. So we'll be decorating a backpack, some t-shirts, and a whole bunch of stuff here. So you're going to learn how to improve efficiency, become a confident heat printer, especially with screen printed transfers. So if you've never got an opportunity to use them, you get to use them. It's included in the cost of this event. And then you get to learn about all those emerging apparel trends. So this is like the primer. This is the fast track to learning all this stuff, learning how to diversify your product offerings with those digital transfers that I talked about earlier, the full color options that allow you to expand what's typically been available, and be able to print on maybe some different substrates. And of course, learning how to maximize your profit margins with dimensional decorating. So a great way to do it, all in there. Dates for the Fort Worth show, I believe we're in September 16th through the 18th. But if you follow that link that's in there right on this right-hand side, the event schedule, go ahead and click on that, and that'll take you over there. You'll be able to see all of those dates with links that go to registration for the show. So I think registration may be open in that early bird stage for Fort Worth. So if you want to sign up, you're thinking about headed to Fort Worth Impressions Expo, go ahead and do that. Now, I put that our Pro Day is happening in Long Beach next week. We are already locked in. We'll be doing one in Atlantic City as well. And then we are working on other dates in concert with the Impressions Expo. So the one in Atlantic City most likely will be the day before the Atlantic City show. We're looking to get one together for Fort Worth, but we're also looking at other markets and taking the show on the road, not to be linked directly with a trade show, but more standalone. So maybe we'll see Georgia in the middle of the summer or something like that. I know talks were about Nashville or even like a Midwest show in the Detroit, Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh area, kind of to help decorators in the Midwest. Midwest is a hotbed for apparel screen printers. Now, the Pro Day for next week is almost sold out. I think there's just a couple spots left. So if you do have the full conference package to the Impressions Expo next week, just be sure to sign up as soon as you can. Or if you're on the fence about signing up and you think you're going to do it, it may fill up. So last time we did sell out, I think, weeks before the event. So that was a little bit lower audience cap. We do have a cap, I believe, at 80 people. So we are, last time I checked, we are very, very close. Now, I did mention, have something special for you guys. It is not too late. If you are here in the webinar at this point, you could use this code right here at this link. So essentially that link just goes, it's no special tracking or anything. The code is what's going to be tracked, but that just goes to the registration page. You do have to put in your name, your business information. If you don't have a business, just put in your own name or what you want your business name to be. It's just a way for you to be kind of sorted, and so that Impressions could get you exactly what you need, offer the solutions for you. If you're just doing t-shirts and fulfillment or something like that, they could at least help bubble up some of that information that's going to be, and some of those classes that's going to be the most impactful for you and your business. But that code right there, screenshot it and pull that one up. The promo codes for the Atlantic City Impressions Expo, I haven't seen any codes around yet for that, because I do believe it may still be in early bird pricing, or it's really only when like the rates start hiking that they give us a code for free registration for us to talk about and bring people interested in coming to our booth. So, you don't necessarily need to pay the $45, but go check that out, or stay tuned, Beavis, to our social media pages, both Stalls and Transfer Express, because we'll share those out typically right when we get them. So be sure that you're subscribed there. Yeah, today last pricing, early bird pricing for New Jersey. So yeah, it's usually like right when one show starts is when the other stuff jumps up. I think the Long Beach show is the same way. Right before the Fort Worth show happened in the fall, it was free to attend, and then as soon as that show happens, it kind of jumps up. So just plan ahead. We're going to get in those tips here in just a minute, but I'm going to cover the Decorated Apparel Expo that I saw somebody mentioning about the chat here. So embroidery, digital, screen printed, and heat applied. This is also solely, just like impressions, solely focused on apparel decorating. There's no real offset printing, no stickers or anything else here. And this is much smaller than, say, an impression show. But that's great because you get to spend more time with those vendors. You get to ask more questions. It's not like 200 people in a booth at one time and you're kind of like getting bumped around by a whole bunch of people like swarming and touching and feeling samples. You get a little bit more relaxed atmosphere. You get a little bit more of that education one-on-one, just asking the reps in the booths your questions, how it makes sense for your business, and they're going to help you the best they can. So I know that the Kansas City show is in February here, 24th and 25th, Treasure Island in Minnesota. So if you want to get together and hang out in a casino, and Tinley Park, April 14th through 15th. So I heard someone mention the Tinley Park show. Now these are those typical smaller shows. So where like if you go to Printing United or ASI or PPAI, it's going to be a little overwhelming. These are much more easier to kind of dip your toes in to a crazy busy trade show. This gets you the trade show experience, but not without the humongous crowds. So a great place to go. The early registration, again, for the Decorated Apparel Expo is free. One thing, too, about the Decorated Apparel Expo is tons of education. There is education every single morning as seminars on the expo floor hall. So you're already right there. All of these other shows typically have education kind of in different areas. Like I mentioned, Printing United did have like some education on the show floor. Some people had like microphones in their booth that they were like demoing a large printer or something to a group, but a lot of it is in a different place. Now, all-day workshops are a thing here at the Decorated Apparel Expo. If you're looking to get that in-depth industry knowledge into a certain process, whether it be direct to garment or screen printing or heat transfers, and those depend on the price depending on when you're registering for the class. So for Decorated Apparel Expo, they're about $90 to $100, or $90 to like $200 really, for depending on what workshop they are. So some seminars are easy, some include all the supplies that could get quite pricey. So it all just depends. You could browse those on the Decorated Apparel Expo website. Now, of course, those individual seminars you could buy a la carte. And so if you buy more, you start to get a little bit quantity. And this is really the best show for that entry level, that intermediate, that starting to be advanced decorator. So it kind of spans this entire range. And if you're advanced, maybe you're going just for a couple classes to see a brand new product or new inks or something that like a new supplier came out with. Maybe you want to see those new styles from Sanmar, that you could jump into one of these shows and do it too. There is quite a few of these Decorated Apparel Expos too. So they're not in those like huge major markets, but that's Chicago, Minneapolis. And of course, the on-floor expo hall happy hour is always a huge hit. You can see right here, there's that cup. That lady's holding that cup. Vince is, helping them print some shirts here. And that's one thing too. Any show that we show up to, we are printing shirts. So if you stop at the Transfer Express booth, you will leave with a screen printed or digital printed shirt that you are going to create yourself. And you're going to get to get hands-on with the equipment and those product types. Jormar, where can I see the full list of expos? The right below your comment, if you could see that one, or if you're just tuning in, maybe Mike could drop that one in there as well. It's just transferexpress.com/event-schedule. And that is our full event schedule for 2023. And if anything else pops up, we are also going to add it to that list as well. So in kind of the same vein, a little bit larger than the Decorated Apparel Expos is the Graphics Pro Expo. Now, they are publishers, like I mentioned, Impressions Magazine and Graphics Pro Magazine. They are the publishers of Graphics Pro Magazine. So everything from awards or laser cut stuff, the signs and digital graphics, large format, even down to vehicle wraps. One Graphics Pro Expo every year is partnered with WrapsCon, where they do all of these cool competitions wrapping cars, and I'm just a nerd for any type of printing, so it's cool to see that stuff too in concert with some of your favorite apparel decorators and looking at all of the solutions for your business. Those Graphics Pro Expos, I will say, the ones that I've attended, a lot of it is a wrap shop or a sign shop, some other type of business that's looking to get into apparel printing, and they're looking for ways to do it. So that's a lot of the customer base that we talk to, but they are all over the United States. Irving, Texas, March 9th through 10th, Charlotte in April, Indianapolis, Portland in July, Long Beach in August, and Baltimore in September. So they are a great show to be able to travel to. The Indianapolis show is one of my favorites. That one's in mid-June. So it's just going to be a great time to get out there. I don't think WrapsCon, it was in Indianapolis a few times, but I think they're going to move it now. So it is free in that early bird access, but it's also one of the most affordable shows to show up to because it's just $25 as it gets close to the show, or if you just walk up, it's $25 to get into the expo floor hall. Now, the best thing about Graphics Pro 2 is that registration is included. It's free when you early bird sign up, or $25 with that entry fee when you're right up against the gate. Exhibitors pay to host these classes, so sometimes they can get a little branded, let's say, and talking about one supplier, but say you're going to see the options that Transfer Express has to offer. But even some of them differ from that. So I've taught classes at Graphics Pro that involve like screen printing with a heat press and talking about how goof-proof screen printed transfers, Elastiprints, and the solutions at Transfer Express could help you do that with minimal investment, all the way to like licensing. So how to avoid sports licensing, copyright, stuff like that, and get around it is one of the classes that I taught there. So they're both like product-based and solution-based, but this is one of the best shows because they give away buyer's bucks. So it's a raffle for all attendees. You get to go in and they'll give away buyer's bucks several times away during the show. And you get, number one, you get a big check. And everybody loves a big check. And it's the $500 buyer's bucks. You get to go to any of the vendors on the show floor and buy something with that $500. So it's really, really powerful. Becky says, I'm hoping Indy is bigger than the Pittsburgh show was a couple years ago. Yep. And as you could see, I'll go back one slide, that they actually dropped Pittsburgh off of the schedule this year. Graphics Pro used to kind of jump between like Pittsburgh and Cleveland in that market, just because of the vendors, I think, that didn't show up, or the vendors that they couldn't get to exhibit, that they focused on a little bit different markets. I know they added Portland this year, so that's a new one. And so Indianapolis, that convention center is quite large, and the one that I was at, and even the year after that, last year, it's getting bigger and bigger now that the pandemic has kind of subsided, and it is a nice, decent sized show. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit larger than the Decorated Apparel Expo, but it's not quite to the impressions level of size of a trade show. We're talking the vendors, the education's still action-packed, but it's just like the trade show floor is maybe 2/3 of a hall to one hall instead of like two halls, or a larger trade show hall. So education included in there. We talked about that. The buyer's bucks, that's Emily. That's our trade show coordinator right there, the one who makes everything happen. We'll give her a little bit of recognition right there. She's teaching a class at the Graphics Pro Expo, and that's Emily. So Emily makes our trade shows happen. If you ever see us at a trade show, or Emily at a trade show, because she goes to some of them, say thank you, because it's awesome. The amount of dedication that she puts in to making sure everything arrives to the show, and that we're able to offer all of our solutions and give you those supplies to take home. The swag at all of these shows is great, because pretty much every booth you stop at is going to give you something to take home. And that's part of the tips of what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on here. So Everything Embroidery is one show a year, and it's usually embroidery, sublimation, heat applied graphics. That's Abby right there at a Everything Embroidery Market last year. This year it's in Lafayette, Louisiana, March 3rd through 5th. It is a great social show. So if you're looking to network with like-minded small businesses, this is a great place to do it. Admissions usually typically 30 to 45 bucks, so nice and easy. The classes are $15 a piece, so you get to a la carte pick which one you want to do. And then, of course, at least at Transfer Express, we raffle away a heat press at these shows. So that is something unique to these shows that we do. If you stop in, drop your business card in a bucket on the last day of the show, we reach in, pull one out, and you're taking that press home with you. So really, really cool. And just a little bit smaller of a show. But if you're in that Lafayette, Louisiana area, it's a great show to come to as an apparel decorator, especially if you are an embroiderer or looking to be able to embroider. Yeah, Steve, yes, they did drop Denver. That is very, very true. Yeah. So Denver, I know, was always a big show for them too. So that's definitely interesting to see. And thanks for shouting that out, Steve. That's a great observation. I see Mike even chimed in on that one too. Now, one of the ones that I'm really excited about that I talked earlier is the Pinners Conference. Now, it is like everything you see on Pinterest, but in one room. So it's everything from like hobbies and like the DIY, like woodworking, the churros that I mentioned. They had a churro booth that was like a churro kit, how to make your own. But they were making them and giving them away just to see how delicious they were. And they were fantastic. But this is going to be our first year exhibiting to it. Like I mentioned, I just went and I saw it in Fort Worth and said, I'm just interested myself to go out and hang out and see what this show's all about. So I went to it and I had a blast. Absolutely fantastic. Great vendors there and a lot of like-minded people who are maybe in that more hobby space, but there are definitely some businesses there as well looking for different solutions, decorating stuff. There's great classes. A lot of it's make and take. So a lot of make and takes if it's little woodworking crafts for kids. Now, this is one of the shows. I will say a lot of these shows, it's 16 plus. You cannot bring children into the show just because there is commercial industrial equipment set up on the trade show floor. So children could run into that, get injured. It's very, very strictly enforced that you cannot bring anyone under 16, sometimes under 18 into the show. The Pinners Conference, super family friendly, and you're able to come out. So if you want to come out, see us, make a t-shirt, we're going to be there in Atlanta, Georgia in March. So there are hundreds and hundreds of classes that the Pinners Conference goes on. If you see that picture up top, like those walled off red areas with the curtains, all of those are classrooms. There's classrooms that are big. There's classrooms that are small. We are going and we're going to be doing one of our toast to transfers. So essentially a class, you purchase a kit, or you could just attend and see the techniques that we're using to be able to print this stuff. We'll be printing the tote bag, a t-shirt, and a can cooler. And I think it's like a $25 or $30 kit, 15 to 35 bucks for the kits. Yeah. And the classes could be unlimited for $149. It's super, general admission is super affordable. It's 10 bucks just to get into the show. But then if you want to add on any classes, there's tons of sewing stuff, embroidery stuff that happens in there. But definitely, if you're just kind of that hobby crafter looking to take it to the next level, the Pinners Conference is just a fun show to go to. So it'll be our first time there with the Toast to Transfers. And speaking of Toast to Transfers, we do have a Toast to Transfers kit coming up very, very soon. Actually, on January 26th, right when we come back from Long Beach, we have our spring edition of Toast to Transfer. So it's kind of like a wine and design night. So the same thing of what we're going to do at the Pinners Conference, just with a little bit of different artwork and different materials here. We're going to give you a Goof-Proof transfer, Ultra Color Pro, and an Ultra Color Max transfer, a t-shirt, a women's zip hoodie, and a cinch pack. So you could select the sizes of this. So if you want to make it for yourself, or if you have a friend, a family member in mind that you want to make these for, or if you want to just make them as samples and get that experience. It's like that wine and design, the paint and sip night, except we do the Toast to Transfer. So this is a virtual event, at least this one here, but we'll be doing the live one at the Pinners Conference if you want to do one live with us. I don't think they allow us to drink though. There. So no happy hours on the floor at the Pinners Conference. It is family friendly. But this is the one that we'll be doing from home. And we do provide a little recipe card for the season, a little seasonal recipe card. I know the team had a lot of fun with the holiday ones. It was this like eggnog drink that was just, I know Steph did it and she would love that drink. But I'm going to be hosting this one for my first time ever. I'm going to be hosting one of these toaster transfers at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's in the evening after hours on a Thursday night. $35 kit includes shipping. You receive everything you see in this picture, and there's even some alternate artwork too. So if like you don't like those flowers, there's a couple more pieces of artwork that you could use and customize your own shirt. Use it as a showroom piece or just learn the techniques. One of the things that I'm very, very excited about is that this one includes the placement ruler, so the t-shirt kind of placement ruler to help you place your graphics on your shirt. But it also includes not one, but 2 mouse pads. I am going to teach this technique that I've been using for a little while now that is maybe a secret. When you have heat-sensitive apparel and you're very nervous about scorching it, I'm going to teach this super secret method that's going to use 2 mouse pads, and we're going to eliminate scorching or damaging a garment on a heat-sensitive garment. So it's going to be really, really cool. You don't have to buy a kit to attend. You could just show up and watch along with us, but it's so much more fun when we do that guided pressing. We're able to press along with each other, and I love seeing on social media so many people share how their items turn out. So we always try to teach a new technique with these and provide an item that maybe not everybody has applied before. Like this cinch sack, might be a little nervous if a customer asks for it. Just hanging out with us on a Thursday night, you're going to gain that confidence and be able to absolutely be like, yeah, cinch sacks, backpacks, can coolers, whatever, zip hoodies, no problem. We're going to be able to decorate them. So this is, I saw Mike put in the kit. The link to the kit there. So if you're interested in attending, that's January 26th. It's kind of like a trade show education, but virtual. At least we get to get you the kit and get you in there. Aloha, Bob. Yes. Aloha, Bob. Yes, there will be a link that this is recorded. So we'll be able to send that one out to you. I saw another one in there. Carla says, in Long Beach, 10 minutes away, should I bring a wagon or a rolling cart? I plan on spending some money. So some people allow you to, I believe Impressions does not allow anything with wheels on it. You can put it in your car, but you're not allowed to, like, you could walk around with like a tote bag or something like that to put things in. But a lot of the equipment sales, at least they'll hold on to it, put a sticker on it at the booth. So the equipment will stay there throughout the duration of the show. You got to show up early though for those. Cause like I know at least from the Transfer Express side, every show that I've went to, it's usually within the first couple hours of show open that all of our floor models are completely sold. So you want to show up early if you're really looking to get those steep discounts on equipment. But of course, materials and stuff at the stalls booth is all the same price or all discounted, but you're able to either place orders and those will ship to you for free, or sometimes vendors do have stuff that you could take with you, but they will help you load it to your car. You just can't bring a rolling cart into the trade show floor. So that's a great question there, Carla. But I look forward to seeing you in Long Beach, Carla. I'll be at the Transfer Express booth, bopping in and out of seminars, maybe hanging out, checking out some shop talks, and hanging out in the after hours with all of the festivities. I know Rock has a big party. We have our happy hour that day before, and Sanmar usually does something great too. So make sure you stop at all those booths, see all the cool stuff. Bella Canvas does some cool stuff too. So kind of the little this and that of trade shows. So we talked about a little bit about the not allowing children. So we'll skip that one. We already talked about register early, be on the mailing list and stay informed. So that's it. John, you're checking out. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Long Beach at the Pro Day next week. So safe travels, my friend. Take care. But Joseph, thank you too. We're always looking to keep things educative and inspirational here. And I'm glad to be able to help you out. I'm so happy that we can help you out here. The number one tip that I give to anybody going to a trade show, wear those comfortable shoes. You don't want to blister on your foot on your 3-day break from work as you're walking around the trade show floor. It makes what could be a otherwise very enjoyable day quite miserable. So wear those comfortable shoes and register early. So register early is on here twice, how important it is. Get those early bird specials, get in for free, and save your money for maybe stuff that you're going to buy on site or anything else like that. Heather right here, that's the Long Beach Convention Center. I spot that one from anywhere. And that's Heather on our Transfer Express team right here with Easy View Online Designer behind her in the background. So let's get into these tips. All right. So pre-show planning is super, super, super important. Register early and review the show website. In most cases, there is a floor plan. All right. There is a floor plan. that you could look at that is loaded full of all of the vendors, so that you could go in and kind of plan the route that you're going to walk through the show floor, or go, all right, this side of the show I'm going to tackle on day one. I'm going to talk to this one on day two. Or like, I really need to buy this piece of equipment from them, and that I know it's going to be there. I'm going to run to that booth right when show opens, and then I'll loop back around and browse around. So just stuff like that. Whatever you need to do, you could review that show website, review that floor plan, and get a game plan down. Now, I forgot who did it earlier, but somebody said like they make a list of what they want to accomplish every day, the exhibitors that they want to see, the people that they want to talk to, the conferences, the seminars, the keynote speakers that they want to see. They make a list and adhere to a slight schedule so that they're able to not miss things that they want to see. Those keynote speakers, I've been to a few marketing conferences, and some of those you're like, oh no, I'm talking to somebody, I got to go, and be able to, I don't want to miss that. That's the reason why I came. So you definitely want to kind of stay on schedule, and it's great to have a plan. Michelle, make a list and prepare in advance. That's exactly right. Yeah, Michelle was getting ahead of us the entire time, saying, these are my tips. And they are fantastic tips, Michelle. You absolutely nailed it. And that's what I tell to everybody who's attending their first show. Just make a game plan. It's going to help, and it helps it be a little bit less overwhelming, because if you don't have a plan, you walk in, you go, whoa, I like that company. Oh, I use their stuff. Oh, I've been thinking about using them. Well, I thought they were too expensive. I don't know what solutions they offer. And you just get so overwhelmed that being able to kind of review early, even if it's on like while you're waiting in the airport on the way to the show, and just looking up that stuff on your phone, being able to say like, yeah, these are the people that I absolutely must see while I'm here. So it's really, really cool to be able to see that. And a lot of times you'll see if you watch YouTube, any educators like Stan Banks, Big Brando, these influencers and educators that are out there in the industry, they attend these shows too. So if it's like, I mean, every time I see Stan, because I've watched a lot of Stan's videos, like, man, I appreciate what you're doing. You help me so much. And those guys love it. They love talking to people, and they'll ask you questions about your business. And then before you know it, you're 45 minutes into a conversation with somebody that's helped you grow your business. And it's just really cool to be able to talk to people like that. And they're accessible. They're super friendly. And it's really, really cool to see these, see everybody there. I love talking to everybody from apparel companies, the decorators just like you, because that's how I tailor more of this educational content to help you guys out. The challenges, the successes, the stories that you share about certain jobs or certain scenarios, or the pickles that you were in and how you got out of them. I love hearing those stories to be able to share them with other people and amplify the entire apparel decorating industry. Helping people who are just getting started too is just, I think it's just absolutely fantastic. So that's why I love it. But enough about me. Let's talk about travel and lodging. Another thing, usually the show sponsors, if it's Impressions or GPX or ASI, usually they'll have a link to some show rates, some discounted show rates for hotel rooms that are hotel partner hotels. And usually they're like connected to the convention center or very, very close. So they're the good ones to set up to, so you could avoid those Uber rides to the convention center themselves. These hotels do sell out. There is I'm talking with a show down in Georgia, and they're like, well, the hotel's sold out. So you just get on early. As soon as you know you're going to go, book that flight, book that hotel, all of your accommodations, sometimes even dinner reservations. It's great. I love food way too much. So whenever I'm going out, I'll look what kind of restaurants are in the area that I want to eat at. O'Daly's says, I usually walk the floor the first day to see everything available, go back and decide what you're interested in, revisit them on the second day. And this way you get to make sure you see everything. And absolutely, yeah, with a 2-day show or something like that, if you get caught up in a long conversation with somebody on that first day, that chops your entire day in half, and now you're not able to do it. So if you have that list and go, okay, I absolutely need to talk to them, maybe they're your first stop, maybe they're your last stop. It just however it's going to bake into your day, how much you want to see of the show. That's a great tip. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, show hotels sometimes are connected, or they have free shuttles. I know in Atlantic City that they have a free shuttle that goes from a lot of the casinos all the way to the convention center, because it's a little bit tucked away from that main strip where everybody stays. So this is the Everything Embroidery show here in Lafayette. This is the promo stuff for them, and that's the hotel that they have sponsored. Looks really, really great. So just check those those sites. So here, another tip is the show special. You're going to see steep discount, and almost every single exhibitor has those show specials. Some take cash, a lot more now, especially since pandemic. I saw a lot of stuff coming through that some of them only take like card. So they will not actually accept cash on the trade show floor. Everything is contactless payments or paperless payments, but almost every single exhibitor has show specials. At Transfer Express, our main show specials are, we have these awesome exclusive packages that are similar to the packages that we have on our website, just hundreds and hundreds of dollars cheaper. You could get all of these accessories essentially for free. Like the one package that we had last year was pretty much like the auto clam, but you got the stand, the tag along, you got a whole bunch of different platens, you got platen protectors, you got $150 in like product credit, all for pretty much the price of if you just bought an auto clam. The floor models themselves, you'll often see exhibitors not want to pack those up. So it costs a lot of money to ship stuff to the show, especially large pieces of equipment. Talking screen printing presses, any of those like sublimation printers, heat presses, stuff like that, that you will see huge, steep discounts. But those you got to get on early. Like I mentioned earlier, at almost every show I've been to, it's within a couple hours that all of the floor displays are all completely sold before, the show's just a couple hours in. Now those, like I mentioned, they do stay there. So they stay in the booths until the last day when they are able to be picked up, so that other people coming to the booth could at least still experience them, be able to print on them. But those are some, the Hotronix presses don't really go on sale all too often. So when they do, it is absolutely incredible to get a killer deal on that. Nicole says, we stay at True by Hilton and walk over to the Orlando Convention Center. It's a 12 to 15 walk, but we beat paying for parking that way. That's a great tip especially if you travel a lot for business, or you travel a lot with your family and have like the Marriott points or anything like that. You could leverage those hotels when you go and possibly even be staying for free. I love a little 10, 12, 15, 20-minute walk, especially in the morning, gets my creativity going. You get to think. Maybe you're walking with your buddy that you work with or a coworker that you could chat about what you're doing on the day. So and Orlando, it's beautiful down there, that you could just take a stroll down the street, maybe stop and get some coffee on the way in. Talk about the game plan, and then you're saving money on parking. You're saving the hassle of having to park in a crowded garage, because sometimes when you're pulling in, the show opens at 10, you're pulling in at like 9:30. There's a line like it's a sporting event or something, like you're going to a football game, but it's just the trade show. So then, you might miss out on those early bird show specials right there at the beginning of the show. So yes, we always have the heat presses and the marketing kits on sale for our trade show deals at Transfer Express here. Now, another one is networking. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, networking. You get to go to all of these events and the after parties, rub elbows with the who's who of the industry. And usually a lot of the educators who are doing those workshops or the seminars, the keynotes, go to those as well. So if you have a question after that keynote speech and you want to ask somebody some more stuff, they're all accessible and they're all there. I love being able to network with other businesses, because then like my example I used earlier, like you need some tumblers. A customer asks you for tumblers and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Oh, that dude that I was hanging out with said that his business was doing sublimated tumblers. Let me reach out. So make sure you're connecting with them. It's as simple as just exchanging like, oh, let me follow you on Instagram, or, hey, let's connect on Facebook or something like that, so that you could remember them. Business cards maybe aren't exchanged, but it's nice to have them on hand. It's smart to be able to just hand them to somebody that you connected with, or just put their number in the phone, whatever it needs to be. But I've met so many great people from print shops all over the United States at just hanging out at like the Made Lab always throws a huge party during the Fort Worth Impressions Expo. So everybody goes, free food, some drink tickets for some drinks. You get to see more stuff. Like they're printing, on their huge rock oval presses. I was there till like 11 at night, just printing hats, helping people, showing off like the leather application on hats. And in most cases, it's completely free if you're an attendee of the show. So it's great. All of those classes too, they are engaging, just like this one. There's always a whole bunch of stuff here on the right-hand side. Yeah. Also try to bring a small suitcase to carry things that you purchase and all of the catalogs that you get. Yeah. holding it in your arm could be a little tiring, or even on your shoulder, but some shows do limit if you're able to bring in like a rolling cart. I know like Graphics Pro, you're able to bring a rolling cart. So a lot of people just bring rolling carts or suitcases in to be able to just toss stuff in all the time. And so they don't have to, they're not burdened with carrying that around, because there's tons of swag. You're going to get tons of swag at one of these trade shows. So, I mean, if you pay $25 just to get to the expo floor, you're going to leave with like $45 or $100 worth of swag. So from t-shirts to mugs and everything like that. So all of that stuff. Yeah. Melissa says, I wish some of these shows would come to Kentucky. Usually go to Carolina or Indiana. Yeah. Some of them, there was one, I believe, in Lexington a couple years ago. So it might have been the Graphics Pro or one that revolved around that circuit. But yeah, usually you see them in the, like Indianapolis, probably the closest to you down in Kentucky. If we do a pro day somewhere in, say, you know, Pittsburgh, Columbus, that might be in your neck of the woods as well. And of course, when you're just walking around the show floor, you see somebody, most people wear, like, if you own a printing company, you're wearing that, you print yourself a promotional shirt and get some eyes on your logo when you walk around. You'll see a lot of people do that. So it's great to be able to talk to people. You might recognize them from some online forums or Facebook groups that you're in for apparel decorators, and able to connect with them. It's just really, really cool to be able to do that. So great networking opportunity. Now, post-show, you're going to have that swag bag. Evaluate all those samples. I always tell people who printed a shirt at our booth, take that shirt home, wash it, because especially when you see our screen printed transfers for the first time, they apply in 4 seconds, and you're like, that's magic, that's witchcraft, there's no way that works. Take it home, wash it. How durable is it? Well, we have them independently tested to 50+ wash dry cycles. Bang it up, abuse it. See what you could get out of it. And so I love telling people to just try it out yourself. So you want to evaluate all of the samples that you get. Does that pen that you got at that one booth at the ASI show or the PPAI show, could you just rub your finger on it and rub the ink off? I don't know. Try it out. Evaluate all those samples. You don't need to super get hands-on with them on the show floor, but maybe that night when you're relaxing in your hotel room, you start to pull stuff out. And that's a great way to be like, well, this mug is humongous and I have 6 others like this and I don't have room for it in my suitcase. Maybe this is going to stay in the hotel room. You get to evaluate that, or just throw it all in, bring it all home, and evaluate it afterwards. You want to make sure that you're comparing the companies that you talk to. So you try to do it as apples to apples, but if there's like certain solutions of like an online software that you're going to use to run your print business, and you talk to one, you talk to another one, try to compare those apples to apples and compare them with what features that you're looking for your business. And of course, any follow-up calls and emails you're going to get from people that you talk to, and they're just looking to help you out. Some people are looking to hard sell you some stuff, but if you are talking to them and they are in the aspect of reaching out to you, odds are that you guys had a meaningful conversation, and it may be a solution for your business. Sometimes you forget that you talked to that company, and then a week later they say, hey, I'm Tom with this online software that you were looking at purchasing, and I just want to see if you have any other questions that I can help you with. You're like, yeah, actually, I need to do online fulfillment or whatever it needs to be for your business. And that's going to help you kind of connect those dots and keep those conversations going, even if you didn't exchange business cards or anything like that. So just be open to that. So this is just a smattering of pictures from us from last year, all around the trade shows, everything embroidery here with the pink craft press, and Abby there with a wow look on attendees' face. You get to see a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, Becky says, love the swag you come home with, and this is awesome info. Thank you, Becky. We are really looking to just help you out and get you getting the most out of your trade show stuff. Yeah, always try to talk to attendees. And we'll get firsthand to know about items. Yeah, and that happens a lot. Like, at least overhearing some conversations in our booth, somebody comes up who maybe has never seen heat transfer, plastisol heat transfer before, and there's somebody in the booth who has been using them for their business, and they're able to kind of share that information. And that, I would much rather have them have that conversation than me essentially just given the, hey, here's the features of this and how this could fit in your business. Hearing from somebody who's using the product already is going to be more beneficial than hearing anybody in the booth staff hearing about it too, because they're going to cut it to your reel and go, yeah, these are great. They do apply in 4 seconds. No, they definitely wash 50+ wash dry cycles. I've been using them for years. Whatever it may be, you could get those questions answered. So just hang around, talk to attendees. That's a great advice there. Odalis. I hope that's Odalis, right? Is that how I'm saying that right? Not butchering that name. Oscar says, how many people should I expect to see on the show floor? So that depends on the show. So some shows have 30 to 45 booths, and some have 700 booths. So it really depends on the size of the show. There's, thousands of attendees to tens of thousands of attendees over the span of 3 days. So just be mindful that that there's going to be other people. I mean, some booths at smaller shows have 2 people working at them. Some booths at the bigger shows are 20, 25 people in the staff just looking to help people out. So it really depends on the show for that. Larry says, I've been using the transfers for almost 2 years. Great product. Can I order sublimation transfers for cups and mugs? You cannot order them from Transfer Express. However, stalls.com, if you go under custom logos and transfers, that there are sublimation transfers there that you could order. I'm not sure about the exact price of them, but they do have sublimation transfers. You don't need to buy a printer. You don't need to buy paper, no inks, no nothing. Don't have to worry about any of that. The sublimation transfers come shipped to you, ready to apply. So just fantastic to have those. So one more thing when we go, I do want to extend, this is going to be an exclusive offer. I want to extend the marketing kit, which is typically our, we talk about it a lot at trade shows. It is our main trade show special. But since we're talking about trade shows, I want to give you guys a jump start as the attendees of this trade show, this webinar. It's just a webinar, but the trade show that we had here today of me trying to educate you or looking for ways that we could inspire you to tackle and get the most out of your investment by attending a trade show. Here's the trade show offer. It's $35. So you're saving $14 off the regular price. And this is the brand new Transfer Express marketing kit. We call it the T-shirt business in a box. If you're brand new to Transfer Express, we have a whole video on how to use the marketing kit, but essentially it unlocks Easy View Online Designer for you, gives you that full catalog of artwork that you could sit down with customers. And I come from a design background. That's how I got in the printing industry, right? And I know all the time that customers go, I don't really know what I'm looking for with the design, but like I know it when I'll see it. Well, guess what? That's not efficient. Artwork is not Netflix. There is no just browsing until you have the Easy Prints idea book. It takes all of that kind of sketching or concepting or piecing together things just completely out of there. You have a whole catalog of customizable art that you could change to your customer specifications in just a couple seconds. And that's really, really powerful for anybody offering custom apparel. On top of that, you get the color selector swatch book, which is a $20 value all in and of itself. It comes with a $15 off coupon for your next order at Transfer Express. So just the color selector swatch book and that coupon, we're already at $35 in value. Not to mention the idea book customized to you and your business, plus 20 plus display transfers. So they're all of our different transfer types that essentially, if you're just getting started out or you've been in business for a long time, there's a transfer in there. There's a whole kit of transfers that's going to help your business look like you've been in business for 5-10 years. You have the artwork capabilities of a shop that's been printing apparel for 30 plus years. It just really is a t-shirt business in a box. So Mike put the link there for the special pricing. That is our trade show link. So don't share that out with anybody. That is a exclusive offer for pretty much today and tomorrow, maybe only. And then it's going to go back up to the regular pricing unless you come out and attend a Impressions Expo or a Decorated Apparel Expo or everything embroidery market. But this is the same show special if you come to the Transfer Express booth. So eliminate Transfer Express on your first loop around, maybe if you pick up this kit now. But these are things that don't sell out. We essentially have to make all of these kits custom to you because it's customized to your business name. And so these are ordered on the show floor and then shipped to you. You could get a jump start on that impressions traffic by picking one up here. Yeah, Becky, artwork is my downfall. And it is it feels like that sometimes. And it feels like that sometimes for a lot of apparel decorators because I was in a seminar in Atlantic City last year. And how many people in this room, there's a room of maybe 140, 200 apparel decorators, said how many people know how to use Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop? And about 14 people raised their hands. So a lot of people don't know the artwork aspect of it. This makes it super, super simple. Artwork can get expensive too. A good graphic designer is not cheap. Of course, you could go to Fiverr or 99 Designs or anything like that. graphic design is not cheap, and your customer, and a lot of times does go, I'll know what I want when I see it. And then you have to put some concepts together. And a lot of times it's just like text. So it's like, let me give it some curved text, a palm tree in the middle, wherever it is for a family reunion or something. And yeah, that could take you 20 or 30 minutes to whip up an Illustrator if you're real proficient, selecting the fonts, finding the clip art, tracing everything out, making it up, and then your customer goes, let's change this or change that, when you could have all of it done in EasyView Online Designer. I don't want to go too in depth. We're at the end of our webinar here today, but I do want to, I just wanted to extend this offer to you guys as we talk about trade shows. This is the easy sneak preview. Yeah, Oscar, artwork is the hard part. So if you guys want to learn more about how to process artwork, and how to use the idea book in EasyView Online Designer, we have a great video over on our YouTube. I don't know. We're going to put Mike to the test to see how fast he could find that marketing kit video, and or how to use the Easy Prints idea book, and see if he could link those videos right in here into the chat. If not, if you're watching this one on replay, I'll definitely make sure we link these in the description once this makes it on over to the YouTube. Oscar says, I've used EasyView and the formats. Yeah, all of those layouts and stuff make it so super easy to customize it. Swap out basketballs to volleyballs or baseballs or whatever you need, whatever the customer sees and is like, that's what I want. That's what I think would work great for a business. Or like, hey, could you change this? It's just so customizable. And from a classically trained graphic designer, I mean, I went to school for graphic design, still paying the student loans for graphic design. But I use EasyView all the time for the majority of my orders just because it's so easy. Now, if somebody wants something completely custom, I was working with a guy who was like, I want my real race car on my shirt. Like, yes, we're going to have to draw that. But that is somebody who wanted to pay for it. Number one, they knew the budget, they knew the expectations. But for the vast majority of customers, I don't have to charge them for art because at maximum, it's taking me 10 minutes to get them a print ready file mocked up on a t-shirt and sent to them. So I mean, this isn't a sales pitch for EasyView. I am a firm believer in how it can make an impact for myself, just as a graphic designer, and you. If you have zero experience drawing stick figures, you could create artwork that's going to sell. So really, really powerful stuff. We have a whole webinar on it that I think I went almost 3 hours. It was it was a long time. So, but I want to thank you guys so much for coming out. I hope I see you guys very, very soon at a trade show this summer, this winter, this fall, this spring, whenever we're doing trade shows. And of course, our Toast to Transfers, which is very similar to this, except there's going to be no slides. It's going to be me in the Transfer Express studios that you've seen maybe on our YouTube. But we'll live stream right from their multi-camera setup. So we have one on me, one on the table, one over on the heat press. So you can see the angles and press along with that. But I'm very excited for that. Of course, Long Beach, John left, but John's hanging out at Long Beach. It sounds like we're going to have some more friends showing up at Long Beach to hang out with us next week. Very, very excited. We got the Pro Day. I've got an action-packed schedule with all of those education classes. There's, I think, 2 days where I have two, and then on the last day, I have one in the morning. That's that placement seminar. And so everything from print placement to growing your business, taking it from a hobby, whatever you need, there's going to be education for you. But if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer them right now. Beavis, thank you for hanging out. Yeah, absolutely. If you come out to a show, just let me know that you're hanging out at a webinar. And I'm always happy to help you guys out. It's really something that I'm super proud of, the dedication that they allow us to do here at Transfer Express and Stalls, that it's just stuff to help you guys out. I want to see your business grow. I want to hear those stories that if you do run into me in a trade show, maybe in a year or somewhere later down this year, and you go, you know what, man, my business is crushing it this year. I brought on 6 more clients, and we've grown revenue, and we ended up hiring a part-time worker or something like that. I love hearing those stories, man. It warms my heart, and I love hearing the success and the strategies that you employed in place to get it going. So, but we're available, email all the time. You could call us at 1-800-622-2280. Visit us at trade shows. Of course, what this is about, connect on social media. We have a great group over on Facebook. That's called the Easy Prints Dealers Group. Which is just a great community of everybody who uses Transfer Express. You do have to be an active customer, like active as in you've placed an order to join that group. But something as small as the marketing kit will qualify you to join that group. 8,000 plus members. I think there's 10 to 16 posts a day or something like that in there, where people are sharing ideas, asking what transfer types to use. Hey, I have a customer who wants a 100% polyester shirt and a polo. I can't find this colorway. Do you guys know where I could get it? It's just tons of advice to help other people out. But of course, over on the YouTube, I'm always answering the comments over there. So if you want to get in touch with me at any time, leave a comment over on our YouTube video and I'll be the one to answer it. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for attending. I'll see you soon in a trade show, maybe at the Toast of Transfers, maybe at another webinar right here on the Transfer Express webinar station channel, whatever you want to call this. But guys, take care. Happy pressing. Hope to see you soon.